I'm going up, be careful. We've lost some parts.
It's gonna go full send.
You guys cheated. You bought a you built some parts off you.
Four teams, 7 days to build a badass truck. This is the K&N Junkyard Challenge.
You saw the way that thing landed, it was like butter, man.
Dude, did you see that thing? Oh crap!
Welcome to the K&N Junkyard Challenge. I'm Chad Reynolds. You know me from Pony Wars and the 10K Drag Shootout. We are here at a private race course in sunny Southern California where 4 teams with 4 team members each got 7 days to build a badass truck. When they're done, each of the 4 team members on the team is going to be required to choose one of our 4 race competitions to drive in. Those race competitions are the barrel race, the short course race, a tug-of-war, and a long jump. And whoever accumulates the most points in the competition is gonna be the winner. Now, every team is gonna take home the truck that they build, but only one is gonna take home the $10,000. The total budget for these builds is $6,000. The teams had $2,500 to purchase their trucks. There's another $1,000 cash on top of whatever is left over from their vehicle purchase for trips to the junkyard and other used parts. Then Summit Racing kicked in $2,500 gift cards to purchase whatever new parts the teams need at summitracing.com. There are no fancy air tools, no lifts, and I guarantee you it will be a war of attrition. Our title sponsor, K&N, provided the air intake kits and filters, fuel pumps, fuel filters, oil filters, and breathers to keep these old trucks running as the teams beat the hell out of them in the dirt. All 4 teams will be running Toyo Open Country tires, and VP Racing's MS100 100-octane unleaded gasoline is the spec fuel for the competition.
Des Knight, team leader of Next Gen Off-Road. We've had our own shop for 6 years now. We build everything. We do just your basic Toyotas to full-on motor swap, LS swaps, whatever you want, we get it done. So we got my dad, Don Knight, grandpa. He's slow, he's old, he's grumpy, but he gets it done. Chris, right-hand man at the shop. He has his own Jeep Speed, lives in the desert, loves the desert, is always ready to jump in and make shit happen. And I got my buddy Chris. He knows how to do the basic fabrication and work, and young guy that you can tell what to do and he gets it done.
Mike Francis, my son and I own RSO Performance in San Jacinto. I used to work in the body shop business. My parents owned a body shop. I grew up in a body shop. Now my son's my business partner and we get to hang out and everything's good. Billy is more like my second son. His father passed away 8-10 years now. James, I don't think James is ever gonna leave. James probably eats dinner at my house probably 3-4 nights a week. I can claim him as a dependent, I think, legally. I would say we're a family.
My name is Matt McAdam, and I'm on Team Damage Inc., and I'm the team lead. On my team, we have Riley Walker, who is a master fabricator at a very young age. He's incredibly great at what he does. Sandy Sauser, anything out there he can build, but he can't spell for crap. And then we have Tyler Mitchell on our team, who's an extremely loyal person. He's very skilled when it comes to finishing work, and he's built some really, really badass cars in the past. We're not an organization, we're not a company, we're just buddies. We're just kind of a band of rebels who do whatever we want to do and do a lot of unconventional things.
Jeff Mello, I'm the team leader of Race Anything. When I first heard about this competition, my very first thought was Trevor Huskins. He's the internet in his head of junkyard parts. He can tell you what swaps with what, and what mates with what, from what year, and he remembers it all in his head. You don't have to look it up. Maury Harmon is badass. He is the squirrely dude that is jumping around, running around, covered in grease. Jack is our least experienced. I don't know that he's done a lot of build stuff. He does work for Arabia's off-road four-wheel drive. We can get him to do all the grinding. We're letting Jack do the hard work, and he's learning a ton from it, and he's got a smile on his face the whole time.
Prior to arriving at TCB Ranch, the team submitted trucks for approval to the Horsepower Wars Tech Committee. In the spirit of competition, teams were asked to hunt for stock or lightly modified platforms. All vehicles must have a factory chassis design, and suspension must remain in the stock configuration. The engine must remain mostly stock, with external modifications like exhaust and intakes being okay. For the body, the vehicle must have an OEM body appearance, but grills, bumpers, side steps, etc. are okay.
Our platform for our build is a 1988 Ford F-250, and it's got a 460 big block in it. It's a single cab, short bed, four-wheel drive with a manual transmission. It's got a lot of power. The 460 big block is a proven motor. It's been in the Ford F-Series trucks for 30 years. Front suspension on an F-250 is a twin traction beam, which actually gives you more independent front suspension versus a solid axle. We think that that's going to help us in the corners, it's going to help us in the jumps. It's more conducive to a desert race truck build versus a solid axle vehicle, which is more conducive to rock crawling. It's very, very dynamic as a platform, and that's one of the reasons why we started out with this truck.
And we're building a 96 Dodge half-ton two-wheel drive.
We tried to find trucks and we couldn't really find what we wanted. We wanted to find a mini truck. We wanted to find something small.
We picked the Dodge because it was cheap.
Found this one in a wrecking yard, actually on lien sale out of a wrecking yard.
We got to get real creative of how we're going to use that extra money and see what efficient ways we can put these parts on that we can spend our money on.
We brought an 04 GMC 2500 heavy duty. It's got a 6-liter Chevy motor in it. And what we liked about this truck, even though we could have worked with the IFS that it had in the front, it's the perfect candidate to cut out and put a 1-ton front end in. And then we'll have front and rear axles that are bulletproof. It's an extra cab, short bed, so we won't be terribly long. We might be a little long on some of the things, but some of the things that'll help us out on.
Ford F-150, before the trophy truck, that was the truck. This is kind of like a small spin-off of that. You just can't beat it. You got a little wider cab, you got more room, headroom, leg room, width, but you're not adding all the extra weight of the extra cabs, the super wide 3/4, 1-ton frames. Wheelbase is right in that magic number. It's right at 118 inches. Normal trophy truck's about 124, where most of these extra cab trucks are in the 135, 145 range, which is just way too long to go through the whoops.
We've given you the tools. Now it's your turn. It's your time to go build them. Get after it. Go. Let's do this.
Our big thing was get everything torn down.
Strategy for today is to tear down the entire truck, basically get it to a blank canvas.
Get a bare, clean slate to paint on.
So the first thing we do to pull the bed is because we want to get access to the rear of the frame, where there's a few components in the way that we need to remove before we can modify the suspension. So in our truck, we have a leaf spring set up on here right now. We're going to be modifying that to a linked truck in the rear. So it's going to be
in love with you because you're going to link this thing.
Yeah, no, we had access to the right stuff, and we thought about it, and we thought, you know what, the short course link is going to work for us. We're on a short course, it's going to be the best setup for us. In order to do that, we got to remove a few things like the gas tank, the rear axle, the leaf springs, and the easiest way to do that is pull the bed off.
We've lost some parts, guys. Are you okay? Please send help.
We're going to lighten this up. We're going to probably slot the back so that our roll cage can go all the way to the front frame rails. Summit gave us some nice hood pins. It'll probably take 2 guys to get it on and off, which is kind of a pain, but we got a 6-liter. We shouldn't need to get under the hood. He said that out loud.
What the heck do they do here? This thing. Unclip it, and this whole thing will come out of the housing, and then you have to unscrew it from here, right?
On this truck, we're attacking it lightly. We're not going overboard on it because, of course, money is a limiting factor. We are doing what we can with what money we have on it.
I think we have a little bit of an advantage just because, like, this is kind of where desert racing kind of like blew up.
I love the SoCal off-road scene, but let's be honest. It's either you're right on your dirt bike or you're wah-da-da-da-da in your trophy truck. Coming from outside of that box, it's going to advantage our team.
You're not messing around. You are cutting everything out of this thing for ultimate weight savings, aren't you?
We're more concerned about front weight than rear weight. You're going to see most of these trucks are going to nosedive. That's just a natural part of having a front engine motor. We got 2 different competitions here that are jump centric.
Yeah.
Now, we're not sure we're too worried about the jump contest because it is not a landing contest, right? It's going to go full send and it's going to go home on a trailer.
So there's definitely a difference between the NorCal and SoCal kind of style and approach to things. I mean,
The Southern California teams are going to be trying to do long travel, twin traction beam, twin I-beam. That's just not what we do.
I don't know of a desert race that we're going to be competing in this weekend.
I think it's going to be a big battle of attrition, and that's going to help us get through the end of all the courses and get some sort of points in every one is what I'm hoping.
They don't have a f***ing truck left.
They got 7 days. They think the thrash is going to be the big deal, but the accountant, the parts guy, that is the important part.
Just got a call from Riley not too long ago. He's not happy. He's upset that I'm not back yet because they don't have much left to do until I get back with parts, and they feel like they're just wasting time sitting there. And I feel horrible because I've been stuck in traffic all day thanks to SoCal. It's bullshit. There's way too many people here, and it really makes a difference on days like today when you're under the gun. And time is of the essence, so I feel like I'm letting them down.
All right, boys and girls, that is it. I have to tell you, I am more impressed than I thought I would be, but it is time to get the hell off the property. Get the hell out of here.
Come in tomorrow swinging, get that tubing in, get the cage started, and we start getting some shock mounts done. And then we can get to the competition where we get to win.
We got a lot done, probably not as much as we would have liked, but I think we got a lot of progress, and I think we're in good shape.
While the teams were closing down for the day, there were some accusations flying about a team already cheating.
So basically, the 3 of us came here to talk about that truck over there, Next Gen. And we believe that that truck has been highly modified. All the rules said find a stock truck. The frame's been chopped and shortened.
Drive shaft shortened. Honest to God, you didn't know the frame was shortened.
I had no clue. I mean, I thought
You didn't see it when you got the truck?
I didn't inspect it that much, dude.
You didn't expect it when you were bolting the bed on. The bed was off. The frame's in front of you. You're bolting the bed on. You're bolting the fenders on.
These guys have been all over the truck. They've VIN verified it. They've gone up and down. They know more about the truck than I know about the truck.
You guys cheated. A shortened frame, shortened drive shaft. You bought a truck that was built and took parts off of it.
You're full of shit.
None of this falls under the rules of a factory vehicle. It's a junkyard challenge. I'm using junkyard parts.
Hey, it's easy. You.
Oh, crap!
We're already in tight quarters, and they're gonna pull their stupid redneck ass truck over there. Woo! I found an F-150 short bed on it.
You could add a number of things where it was modified and then put back to stock.
They either think we're lying or they believe us. What are you gonna do?